Heading into the 2024-25 NBA season, the Golden State Warriors weren't viewed as title contenders. Last season, they barely squeaked into the 10th seed, only to be unceremoniously ousted by the Sacramento Kings in the play-in tournament. Then, during the offseason, they lost their second-best scorer and their sixth man, leaving them scrambling to recover. But as bleak as things look, the Warriors might just have a hidden ace up their sleeve. But what might that be? It's hard to ignore how the Warriors have got an aging superstar in Steph Curry still delivering jaw-dropping performances, a defensive powerhouse in Draymond Green, and a roster that's inconsistent at best. But here's the thing, the Warriors still want to win. They've tasted greatness and they're hungry to get back there. The Dubs didn't build their dynasty by following the crowd. When everyone else was chasing size and strength, they doubled down on shooting, pairing Steph with Klay Thompson, and banking on Steph's skills despite doubts about his size. They took a chance on players with high basketball IQ and defensive versatility, like Andre Iguodala and Sean Livingston, and found gold in Draymond Green, a second-round pick who turned into a key piece of their lineup. That approach led to a league-shaking dynasty and revolutionized basketball. But the league caught on, and now every team is hunting for shooting, length, and smart, versatile players. So, if the Warriors want to contend again, they'll need to exploit a new strategy, including their transfer market bargains. This offseason, they did make some decent moves, like bringing in Buddy Hield, Kyle Anderson, and DeAnthony Melton. They tried for big names like Lauri Markkanen and Paul George, but couldn't pull it off. Markkanen re-signed with the Jazz, and PG-13 inked a 4-year deal with the 76ers. It wasn't the blockbuster shift fans were hoping for, yet this isn't the first time they've started a season on the outside looking in, and if history is anything to go by, they thrive on that doubt. When the 2014-15 season started, no one saw the Warriors as contenders, and they ended up hoisting their 4th title. It might just be a matter of time before they remind everyone what this team, led by a still electrifying Steph, is truly capable of. Kyle Anderson is a curious addition at first glance, but a smart one when you dig deeper. Anderson might not be flashy, but he brings defensive versatility and secondary playmaking. With his ability to guard multiple positions and read the floor, he's an ideal fit in Kerr's system, which prizes basketball IQ as much as athleticism. DeAnthony Melton, too, could be a key piece. Despite standing only 6'3", Melton plays like a much bigger guard, often matching up with players like Cade Cunningham, Anthony Edwards, and Jason Tatum. And while Melton isn't a go-to scorer, his over 38% three-point shooting over the past 4 seasons proves he can knock down shots when called upon. He may not be someone who orchestrates the offense, but as a complementary piece, Melton fits perfectly. However, the Dubs might have stumbled upon their secret weapon for this season, and it's none other than 31-year-old Buddy Hield. Hield is already looking like the one who could make the biggest splash. The Warriors brought him in through a sign-and trade in a monster 6-team deal. And right from training camp to preseason games, Hield's fit in Steve Kerr's offense has been nothing short of perfect. During the Warriors' undefeated 6-0 preseason, Hield shot an almost insane 49% from beyond the arc, draining 19 of 39 attempts. In his regular season debut, he came off the bench, caught fire, and became a nightmare for the Portland Trail Blazers defense. In just 15 minutes, he put up 22 points, hitting 5 of 7 three-point attempts. Replacing Klay is an impossible task, and Hield knows it. He's not trying to be Klay. He's just being himself, and that's exactly what the Warriors want. He's already shown he can bring some of that much-needed firepower from downtown. In fact, when it comes to three-pointers, Hield is as close to a Steph-level sniper as it gets. Over the last 5 seasons, he's been the most prolific three-point shooter in the league. Hield has always been a sniper from beyond the arc, watching Steph's every move from afar, whether he was in Oklahoma or bouncing around with teams like the Pelicans, Kings, Pacers, and 76ers. Before they became teammates, Hield and Steph squared off 15 times, with Golden State dominating Hield's teams in 13 of those games. Now that they're in the same jersey, Hield has all eyes on him, and he's proving to be a lethal addition to the Warriors lineup. Hield is shining early in the season, quickly emerging as Golden State's go-to transition threat. Whenever the Warriors get a stop and start pushing the break, Hield is already in position, running his lane on the right side like clockwork. He's perfected the art of baiting his defender into the paint, only to pull back behind the arc, ready to drain another 3. Defenders who lose track of him for even a second are left regretting it. In the opening game of the season, Hield dropped 22 points, setting the tone for his Warriors debut. Just one game later, he was even hotter, hitting a game-high 27 points and nailing 7 of his 9 three-point attempts. For Golden State, it's like unlocking a new Hield and harnessing his energy. When the Warriors traded for Hield as part of the blockbuster 6-team deal that sent Klay to Dallas, they knew they were getting a shooter. What they didn't expect was the quick impact and chemistry Hield would bring to the team. He's fit right in, not just on the court, but in the locker room too. He's already bringing positive vibes that have been missing in the Bay Area for months. He's bringing his contagious energy. Hield's unselfishness and team-first mindset are exactly what Coach Steve Kerr has been preaching. So far, Hield has shown he's more than just a new addition. Against Utah, he showcased his evolving game with 6 assists and 4 rebounds, including moving the ball with his teammates in slick fashion. Hield has come out blazing, hitting 12 of his first 16 three-point attempts, a scorching 75%. No one expects him to stay that hot all season, but he's already showing he can be the reliable shooter Golden State has needed since Klay's departure. His plus-minus of 22.5 ranks 4th in the league through just 2 games. And when he and Steph are on the floor together, the Warriors have outscored opponents by a wild over 79 points per 100 possessions, making them the most dynamic duo on the roster right now. Hield's journey hasn't been easy. He's been a three-point machine, hitting over 200 threes in 6 straight seasons, but he's bounced from New Orleans to Sacramento to Indiana and then to Philadelphia. Now it finally seems like he's found his place. The Warriors system, with its emphasis on selfishness and speed, is exactly what Hield needs to thrive. Hield might just be the missing piece, giving Golden State a new, unexpected edge that has them looking dangerous once again. And with plenty of potential hidden gems on their roster like Jonathan Kuminga, Brandon Podziemski, Trace Jackson-Davis, and Moses Moody, their opportunities are wide open. These guys aren't stars yet, but with a little extra room on the floor, they're primed to step up. If they do, the Warriors might already have enough to be a playoff team. Kuminga is coming off his best season yet, averaging just over 16 points while grabbing almost 5 rebounds and dishing out 2 assists per game. But even with his success, the Warriors aren't rushing to lock him down with a massive extension. Instead, they're keeping their options open, hoping to maintain flexibility for potential big moves. With Steph needing support, the Warriors could easily shift gears and trade for another star if the right opportunity comes along. Few teams have the depth and quality of assets Golden State does, and they're well positioned to make waves before the trade deadline. But the Warriors' strength doesn't only come from talent on the court. It's their culture, built and reinforced over the years, that keeps them competitive. They've created an environment that makes players like Marquise Chris, once labeled a lottery bust with the Suns, look like an entirely different player. And Glenn Robinson III, who struggled to find his footing in Indiana and Detroit, found his rhythm with Golden State, becoming a solid 3-and-D wing. Their system is so tight-knit that when Robinson was traded to a playoff team in Philadelphia, he was genuinely disappointed to leave. That speaks volumes about the environment Golden State has cultivated. In a way, this culture is the Warriors' real secret weapon. While most teams are scrambling to build instant super teams, Golden State is investing in players that other franchises have given up on. It's a strategy that mirrors the approach of the San Antonio Spurs during their dynasty years, a blend of discipline, patience, and belief in player potential. And now, as they enter a new era, the Warriors are betting on this culture to drive their next phase of success, proving that sometimes the best way to build a team isn't just with talent, but with trust and cohesion. The Warriors have a key advantage: Steph Curry. He's the kind of leader who keeps things ready. Steph brings intense competitiveness, but balances it with humility. He plays with joy, but works harder than anyone. When Kevin Durant arrived, Steph welcomed him in. That kind of leadership is rare in the NBA. The organization knows they're lucky to have a player like Steph, and they've built a structure around him to support that stability. With Steve Kerr at the helm, the Warriors have assembled one of the NBA's most solid management teams. During their disastrous 15-50 2019-20 season, there were no rumors of upheaval or coach firings. That kind of patience is a rarity in the NBA, where front offices often look for quick fixes. But patience alone isn't enough. For the Warriors to turn into real contenders, they'll need everything to go right. Steph has to deliver an MVP-level season. not necessarily winning the MVP award, but hitting that top 5 player mark. Last season, he averaged 28 points per game before the All-Star break, shooting over 42% from 3. But after the break, those numbers dropped. This season, Steph can't just be a star, he has to be a superstar for the Warriors to have a shot at the title. Then there's Draymond Green. His role is just as crucial. Some might say he's the Warriors' engine. Draymond's got to find that balance between his all-world play and his moments of over-the-top aggression. Last year, his emotional outburst cost him, but when he's focused, Dre is an on-court quarterback, an emotional leader, and the defensive wall the Warriors rely on. They need him to be all 3 of those things, but without the sideline drama. If this duo can gel with the team and execute, the Warriors will have a solid rotation of reliable contributors. But no team can escape the unpredictability of a season. Injuries and plain old bad luck can sideline even the best plans, and while it's not an excuse, it's part of the reality. Every championship team has had a good fortune on their side, and the Warriors will need the same if they hope to make another deep playoff run. This season, more than any other, the Warriors are embracing who they are. They're relying on the culture that built their dynasty to power them back to championship contention. So, can this unique mix be the secret weapon that leads them to glory?